Sometimes a sequel can really be on the same level as the original. Hello everybody, I'm Jim Mere and welcome back to another review on this channel. And this time I'm gonna talk about another underrated movie. A movie that is released a couple of years ago that I think, in my opinion, is a bit underappreciated, underrated, or maybe overlooked. And now I have chosen a movie from 2018. It's not that long ago, it's already 7 years. And I have chosen for the movie Sicario, Day of the Soldado. And this is a sequel to the 2015 movie Sicario. And now for a few days now it's quite hot in here. The temperature really rised to a very hot temperature, and seeing this so hot now, I thought usually I have a desire to watch movies that are taking place in hot circumstances, and so why not give the Sicario movies another watch? And I have always loved the two Sicario movies. I believe the first movie is definitely a masterpiece, and the second movie, it's a bit, well, it's not on the same levels as the first movie in terms of quality and popularity, definitely not in popularity. But I don't know, that movie always gave me the right thrills, the right adrenaline, the right kind of excitement I wanted from this kind of movie. And I always loved this movie, and I even consider Sicario, Day of the Soldado as one of the best movies of 2018. And I really love 2018 as a film year. A lot of great movies came out that year, a lot of movies that I really like. So for a movie like Sicario, Day of the Soldado, get a place in that, in the top 10 favorite movies of that year, is a big deal. And definitely if I look at other people's top 10 list of 2018 or underrated movies of 2018, rarely is Sicario, Day of the Soldado mentioned, and I think that's a shame because this is actually a cool movie and a sequel that is almost or maybe even on the same level as the first movie. So that's why I believe Day of the Soldado is an underrated movie. So let's talk about it. But like I said, it's a sequel. It's a sequel to the 2015 movie Sicario, and Sicario was a huge success. Well, not really a huge success in terms of blockbusters, but for the kind of movie Sicario is, it had some buzz, it had popularity, people were going to watch, it did well on Academy shows, so people were talking about it. And the first Sicario movie is written by Taylor Sheridan, which is a very great screenwriter. He did some amazing work. He's a very busy screenwriter. If you look at his filmography and what he all wrote and even direct this past decade, it's incredible. He did amazing stuff, not only with the Sicario movies, but also like a show of Yellowstone, even a movie like Wind River or Hell or High Water were amazing. So this guy is definitely one of the best screenwriters at this current day of age. And most important, the first movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who is now making big name with his Dune movies. But already in the first movie you can see his perfect direction style. And it has great music, it has a great story, great performances by the actors. And everyone back then thought there was not gonna be a sequel to this movie. And then 3 years later, Taylor Sheridan wrote a sequel, Day of the Soldado. And now I always love the first movie for what it is, the great direction. It's really an example of show, don't tell. It's as a great exercise in that. Denis Villeneuve can really tell something with just showing and not telling, and that's something I really admire. And also the movie kinda left me in shock because what I have seen in the movie and the story it told and the things they revealed to us as an audience. But I don't know, the first movie never really thrilled me as much as I expected it to. And then I went to the theater in the summer of 2018, it was also very hot, and I saw the sequel. And this sequel really thrilled me, especially the third act. The third act is amazing. I will get to that a bit later. So, the sequel is still written by Taylor Sheridan and is directed this time by Italian director Stefano Sollima. And characters that are coming back, or actors are coming back, are Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro. They are reprising their roles from the first movie. But in the first movie, Emily Blunt was the main lead, and Benicio and Josh, his characters were a bit the side characters. Now they are more in the spotlight in this movie. They can really shine in this movie. And what is the movie about? We also got some new ones like Catherine Keener joins the cast and a young Isabella Merced. Back then she was still called Isabella Moner. I believe that's also her name on the credits in this movie. And that was also my first introduction to this young actress, and I was really admiring her by her acting talent, and I became a fan of her and really excited to see her in future projects, especially Alien Romulus. Really looking forward to that movie. So, the story of Day of the Soldado. We are a few years after the events of the first movie, and this time there is a new problematic at the border. Because Sicario are border movies taking place in the American-Mexican border. The first movie, the problem was still about drugs. Now the merchandise has changed into people. Smuggling in 2018 was apparently big business, and that is what this movie was really focusing on. The Sicario movies always try to be relevant, going with what is in the news back then. And we're really focusing on this problematic of the smuggling on the border. And something happens on the American side of the border, and the Americans are a bit in panic, so they want to start a war at the Mexican side of the border. But things don't go as planned, and there are all kinds of consequences. That's what this movie is about. And what I really like about Sicario Day of the Soldado is the writing. The writing is still top notch, but especially this directing. It's a different kind, a different style of directing that we knew with Denis Villeneuve. But Stefano Sollima is also a very capable director, also a very visual director. The cinematography and the way the things are shot in this movie are brilliant. And what I really think Stefano Sollima did an excellent job is his camera movements in the car. Those were some top-notch inside car camera movements. And that also feel like you are with them, with the characters in this car driving through these roads, and that's always something I liked about this movie. Now, the most complaints are not on the directing or the writing, but on the story. Some are saying that this movie lacks a story, and I can see why they are saying that, but on the other side, the story is things are going wrong. Like, there is a problem, they want to solve this problem with causing a war, causing some things to happen in order to benefit themselves. But the plans don't go as planned, things get really wrong, there are consequences, they have to improvise, they have to change plans, and at a certain point in the movie it turns out that everything that they are doing is actually for nothing. Everything in this movie, every plan they are doing is basically for nothing. Nothing happens, nothing changes, and the reasons why they are doing it were the wrong reasons, because they are targeting the wrong people. And that's the story of this movie, I believe. There are problems at the border, they want to solve it, but you can't solve it. And I believe this movie wants to illustrate that given. So it's maybe not a story of protagonist going from a point A to a point B and having a clear goal and achieving that goal. No, the means and the goals in this movie are constantly changing, but that is also what this makes it an interesting movie. And it also results in a very gritty movie. The movie is very gritty and dark at times. It's not really a movie that gonna put a smile on your face. Also, the characters are still amazing. I really love these characters, so that Josh Brolin and Benicio del Toro playing Alejandro and Matt. I really like that they are more in the spotlight now in this movie. But the standout character for me is Isabel Reyes. And that's the character that is played by Isabella Merced. And like I said, this is the movie that introduced me to her. And immediately I saw her acting talent, because she really plays excellent in this movie. You can really see that. She the way she acts in these scenes, the emotions, you can always see that they are real emotions, that these are things that are actually happening to her, because she has a right variation of emotions in this movie. And I really like her character, and also the character arc, because she started as a spoiled brat, but alongside the movie and all these things that are happening to her, she's changing and she's learning the reality, the hard reality of the world she lives in. And that's also something that I really admire in this movie, is this duo. So Isabel Reyes and Alejandro during this movie, and their survival at the border and trying back to the States. That's really interesting to see in this movie. And like I said, this movie gave me thrills, because especially the first half hour didn't captivate me, didn't intrigue me. The movie takes its time to really be that captivating, to be that intriguing. And when we are at the last half hour of the movie, I was really into this movie. And the movie really gives me the excitement that I was looking for in this movie, because that third act was amazing. All the things that are happening, definitely if this is a first time watch for you, there was something that happened in this movie that was actually quite shocking for me, and I did not saw this coming, and I was surprised that they were doing it. And then the things that are happening after that were excellent. So Sicario Day of the Soldado is, in my opinion, equally good as the first Sicario movie, and it's definitely an underrated movie, and it shouldn't be. Sicario and Sicario Day of the Soldado should be seen as a movie with two volumes, in my opinion. So those were my thoughts on the movie Sicario Day of the Soldado. I hope you liked my review. Always be free to share your thoughts on this movie below in the comments. Would love to read those. And if you want to see more reviews of me in the future, always be free to subscribe to my channel. And till the next time.